life that I am. It is timeless. I am timeless, eternal. What happens in that space is relative and temporary. Pleasure and pain, gain and loss, birth and death. The greatest impediment to the discovery of inner space, the greatest impediment to finding the experiencer, is to become so enthralled by the experience that you lose yourself in it. It means consciousness is lost in its own dream. You get taken in by every thought, every emotion, and every experience to such a degree that you are, in fact, in a dreamlike state. This has been the normal state of humanity for thousands of years. Although you cannot know consciousness, you can become conscious of it as yourself. You can sense it directly in any situation, no matter where you are. You can sense it here and now as your very presence, the inner space in which the words on this page are perceived and become thoughts. It is the underlying I am. The word you're reading and thinking are the foreground, and the I am is the substratum, the underlying background to every experience, thought, feeling. The breath. Discover inner space by creating gaps in the stream of thinking. Without those gaps, your thinking becomes repetitive, uninspired, devoid, or any creative spark, which is it is still how it still is for most people on the planet. You don't need to be concerned with the duration of those gaps. A few seconds is good enough. Gradually, they will lengthen by themselves without any effort on your part. More important than their length is to bring them in frequently so that your daily activities and your stream of thinking become interspersed with space. Someone recently showed me the annual prospectus of a large spiritual organization. When I looked through it, I was impressed by the wide choice of interesting seminars and workshops. It reminded me of a smorgasbord on which on one of sorry on of those Scandinavian. It should be one of those Scandinavian buffets where you can take your pick from a huge variety of enticing dishes. The person asked me whether I could recommend one or two courses. I don't know, I said. They all look so interesting, but I do know this, I added. Be aware of your breathing as often as you're able, whenever you remember. Do that for 1 year, and it will be more powerfully transformative than attending all of these courses. And it's free. Being aware of your breathing takes attention away from thinking and creates space. It is one way of generating consciousness. Although the fullness of consciousness is already there as the unmanifested, we are here to bring consciousness into this dimension. Be aware of your breathing. Notice the sensation of the breath. Could we do this together? Could the rest of you close your eyes and let's just experience? It's just one paragraph, and I will read it out to you. So once you're ready, with closed eyes and a straight back, as much as you can, lift your chest, release your shoulders, and then take this opportunity to be aware of your breathing. Notice the sensation of the breath. Feel the air moving in and out of your body. Notice how the chest and abdomen expand and contract slightly with the in and out breath. One conscious breath is enough to make some space where before there was the uninterrupted succession of one thought after another. One conscious breath. Two or three would be even better. Take many times a day is an excellent way of bringing space into your life. Okay, now you can open your eyes if you like and listen to me, or keeping your eyes closed and breathing, you can still listen. Even if you meditated on your breathing for 2 hours or more, which some people do, one breath is all you ever need to be aware of. Indeed, ever can be aware of. The rest is memory or anticipation, which is to say, thought. Breathing isn't really something that you do, but something that you witness as it happens. Breathing happens by itself. The intelligence within the body is doing it. All you have to do is watch it happening. There is no strain or effort involved. Also, notice the brief cessation of the breath, particularly the still point at the end of the out breath, before you start breathing in again. Many people's breath is unnaturally shallow. The more you are aware of the breath, the more its natural depth will re-establish itself. Because breath has no form as such, it has since ancient times been equated with spirit, the formless one life. God formed man of dust from the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living creature. The German word for breathing, Atman, is derived from the ancient Indian Sanskrit word Atman, meaning the indwelling spirit or God within. The fact that breath has no form is one of the reasons why breath awareness is an extremely effective way of bringing space into your life, of generating consciousness. It's an excellent meditation object precisely because it is not an object, has no shape or form. The other reason is that breath is one of the most subtle and seemingly insignificant phenomena, the least thing that, according to Nietzsche, makes up the best happiness. Whether or not you practice breath awareness as an actual formal meditation is up to you. Formal meditation, however, is no substitute for bringing space consciousness into everyday life. Being aware of your breath forces you into the present moment, the key to all inner transformation. Whenever you are conscious of the breath, you are absolutely present. You may also notice that you cannot think and be aware of your breathing. Conscious breathing stops your mind. But far from being in a trance or half sleep, you're fully awake and highly alert. You're not falling below thinking, but rising above it. And if you look more closely, you will find that those two things, coming fully into the present moment and ceasing thinking without loss of consciousness, are actually one and the same, the arising of space consciousness. Deepa, would you like to continue with addictions? Or I think it is Deepa who was
It's
after me.
Suman. Suman wants to read
Suman.
next.
Okay. Sorry. Suman.
If you read Deepa, you can write your name. Yeah, Suman, you can start.
Yeah, from where? From here? Addictions?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Addictions. A long standing compulsive behavior pattern may be called an addiction, and an addiction lives inside you as a quasi entity or subpersonality. Please give me a second just to have my specs. Yeah. A long-standing compulsive behavior pattern may be called an addiction, and an addiction lives inside you as a quasi-entity or subpersonality, an energy field that periodically takes you over completely. It even takes over your mind, the voice in your head, which then becomes the voice of the addiction. It may be saying, "You have had a rough day. You deserve a treat. Why deny yourself the only pleasure that is left in your life?" And so, if you are identified with the eternal voice due to lack of awareness, you find yourself walking to the fridge and reaching for that rich chocolate cake. At other times, the addiction may bypass the thinking mind completely, and you suddenly find yourself puffing on a cigarette or holding a drink. How did that get into my hand? Taking the cigarette out of the packet, and lighting it, or pouring yourself a drink were actions performed in complete unconsciousness. If you have a compulsive behavior pattern such as smoking, overeating, drinking, TV watching, internet addiction, or whatever it may be, this is what you can do. When you notice the compulsive need arising in you, stop and take 3 conscious breaths. This generates awareness. Then, for a few minutes, be aware of the compulsive urge itself as an energy field inside you. Consciously feel that need to physically or mentally ingest or consume a certain substance or the desire to act out some form of compulsive behavior. Then take a few more conscious breaths. After that, you may find that the compulsive urge has disappeared for the time being, or you may find that it still overpowers you and you cannot help but indulge or act it out again. Don't make it into a problem. Make the addiction part of your awareness practice in the way described above. As awareness grows, addictive patterns will weaken and eventually dissolve. Remember, however, to catch any thoughts that justify the addictive behavior, sometimes with clever arguments as they arise in your mind. Ask yourself, who is talking here? And you will realize the addiction is talking. As long as you know that, as long as you are present as the observer of your mind, it is less likely to trick you into doing what it wants. Inner
Just a minute.
body awareness. Yeah, yeah,
Just a minute, Suman.
yeah.
Rajesh, you want me to share the screen now?
No, no.
I can
Anyhow,
do that.
anyway, it will take another 5 minutes. I'll continue. No problem. I will continue sharing my
Oh,
screen till we complete reading.
okay,
Yeah.
no problem.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Mans.
Go on, Suman.
Okay. Inner body awareness. Another single but highly effective way of finding space in your life is closely linked to the breath. You will find that by feeling the subtle flow of air in and out of the body, as well as the rise and fall of your chest and abdomen, you are also becoming aware of the inner body. Your attention may then shift from the breath to that felt aliveness within you. diffused throughout the body. Most people are so distracted by their thoughts, so identified with the voices in their heads. They know they can no longer feel the aliveness within them. To be unable to feel the life that animates the physical body, the very life that you are, is the greatest deprivation that can happen to you. You then begin to look not only for substitutes for that natural state of well being within, but also for something to cover up the continuous unease that you feel when you are not in touch with the aliveness that is always there but usually overlooked. Some of the substitutes people seek out are drug induced high sensory overstimulation, such as excessively loud music, thrills, or dangerous activities, or an obsession with sex. Even drama in relationships is used as a substitute for that genuine sense of aliveness. The most sought after cover up for the continuous background unease are intimate relationships. A man or a woman who is going to make me happy. It is, of course, also one of the most frequently experienced of all the letdowns. And when the unease surfaces again, people will usually blame their partner for it. Take two or three conscious breaths. Now see if you can detect a subtle sense of aliveness that pervades your entire inner body. Can you feel your body from within, so to speak? Sense briefly specific parts of your body. Feel your hands, then your arms, feet, and legs. Can you feel your abdomen, chest, neck, or head? What about your lips? Is there life in them? Then become aware again of this inner body as a whole. You may want to close your eyes initially for this practice. And once you can feel your body, open your eyes, look around, and continue to feel your body at the same time. Some readers may find there is no need to close their eyes. They can, in fact, feel their inner body as they read this. Inner and outer space. Your inner body is not solid but spacious. It is not your physical form, but the life that animates the physical form. It is the intelligence that created and sustains the body, simultaneously coordinating hundreds of different functions of such extraordinary complexity that the human mind can only understand a tiny fraction of it. When you become aware of it, what is really happening is that the intelligence is becoming aware of itself. It is the elusive life that no scientist has ever found because the consciousness that is looking for it is it. Physicists have discovered that the apparent solidity of matter is an illusion created by our senses. This includes the physical body, which we perceive and think of as a form, but 99.99% of which is actually empty space. This is how vast the space is between the atoms compared to their size, and there is as much space again within each atom. The physical body is no more than a misperception of who you are. In many ways, it is a microcosmic version of outer space. To give you an idea of how vast the space is between celestial bodies, consider this. Light traveling at constant speed of 186,000 miles, 300,000 kilometers per second takes just over 1 second to travel between the Earth and the Moon. Light from the Sun takes about 8 minutes to reach the Earth. Light from our nearest neighbor in space, a star called Proxima Centauri, which is the Sun, that is closest to our own sun travels for 4.5 years before it reaches the Earth. This is how vast This is how vast the space is that surrounds us. And then there is the intergalactic space, whose vastness defies all comprehension. Light from the galaxy closest to our own, the Andromeda galaxy, takes 2.4 million years to reach us. Isn't it amazing that your body is just as spacious as the universe? So your physical body, which is foam, reveals itself as an essentially formless when you go deeper into it. It becomes a doorway into inner space. Although inner space has no form, it is intensely alive. That empty space is life in its fullness, the unmanifested source out of which all manifestation flows. The traditional word for that source is God. Thoughts and words belong to the world of form. They cannot express the formless. So when you say, I can feel my inner body, that is a misperception created by thought. What is really happening is that the consciousness that appears as the body, the consciousness that I am, is becoming conscious of itself. When I no longer confuse who I am with a temporary form of me, then the dimension of the limitless and the eternal, God can express itself through me and guide me. It also frees me from dependency on form. However, a purely intellectual recognition or belief, I am not this form, does not help. The all important question is, at this moment, can I sense the presence of inner space? Which really means, can I sense my own presence, or rather, the presence that I am? Or we can approach this truth seeing a different pointer. Ask yourself, am I aware not only of what is happening at this moment, but also of the now itself as the living, timeless inner space in which everything happens? Although this question seems to have nothing to do with the inner body, you may be surprised that by becoming aware of the space of now, you suddenly feel more alive inside. You are feeling the aliveness of the inner body, the aliveness that is an intrinsic part of the joy of being. We have to enter the body to go beyond it and find out that we are not that. As much as possible in everyday life, use awareness of the inner body to create space. When waiting, when listening to someone, when pausing to look at the sky, a tree, flower, your partner, or child, feel the aliveness within at the same time. This means part of your attention or consciousness remains formless, and the rest is available for the outer world of form. Whenever you inhabit your body in this way, it serves as an anchor for staying present in the now. It prevents you from losing yourself in thinking, in emotions, or in external situations. When you think, feel, perceive, and experience, consciousness is born into form. It is reincarnating into a thought, a feeling, a sense perception, and experience. The cycle of rebirths that Buddhists hope to get out of eventually is happening continuously. And it is only at this moment, through the power of now, that you can get out of it. Through complete acceptance of the form of now, you become internally aligned with space, which is the essence of now. Through acceptance, you become spacious inside, aligned with space instead of form that brings true perspective. and balance into your life. Yes, Deepaji wants to read.
So we
Or
can we
I should.
complete? Can we finish this
It's just a small part. You
for
finished.
today?
Okay. Yeah, sure. Noticing the gaps throughout the day.
Are you going to continue, Mansi?
Yes, if anybody wants, otherwise I will
No,
do.
no. Time is 7:50. I think. Do you want to continue again? Because I think this chapter may take another 15 minutes. Then that
No,
may
it is just 2 pages left, one and a
pages.
half page in fact. So let's
Uh,
finish this
okay,
chapter. Yeah.
okay, okay. Okay, in that case, okay, fine. Where is it?
You
Yeah,
want me to
please
share
continue.
the screen? I can do that, Rajesh.
No problem, no problem. Yeah. One and a half page I can continue. No problem.
Yeah, go
Should
on,
I
Suman.
continue or somebody else wants?
You may continue. One and a half page
There are
long. No
Okay,
there
meeting.
are no names. You better read. Like it's okay.
okay, sure. Noticing the gaps throughout the day, there is a continuously changing succession of things that you see and hear. In the first moment of seeing something or hearing a sound, and more so if it is unfamiliar, before the mind names or interprets what you see or hear, there is usually a gap of alert attention in which the perception occurs. That is the inner space. Its duration differs from person to person. It is easy to miss because in many people, those spaces are extremely short, perhaps only a second or less. This is what happens. A new sight or sound arises, and in the first moment of perception, there is a brief cessation in the habitual stream of thinking. Consciousness is diverted away from thought because it is required for sense perception. A very unusual sight or sound may leave you speechless, even inside. That is to say, bring about a longer gap. The frequency and duration of those spaces determine your ability to enjoy life, to feel an inner connectedness with other human beings as well as nature. It also determines the degree to which you are free of ego because ego implies complete unawareness of the dimension of space. When you become conscious of these brief spaces, they happen naturally. They will lengthen. And as they do, you will experience with increasing frequency the joy of perceiving with little or no interference of thinking. The world around you then feels fresh, new, and alive. The more you perceive life through a mental screen of abstraction and conceptualization, the more lifeless and flat the world around you becomes. Lose yourself to find yourself. Inner space also arises whenever you let go of the need to emphasize your home identity. That need is of the ego. It is not a true need. We have, scroll up please. We have already touched briefly upon this. Whenever you relinquish one of these behavior patterns, inner space emerges. You become more truly yourself. To the ego, it will seem as if you were losing yourself, but the opposite is the case. Jesus already taught that you need to lose yourself to find yourself. Whenever you let go of one of these patterns, you de emphasize who you are on the level of form, and who you are beyond form emerges more fully. You become less so you can be more. Here are some ways in which people unconsciously try to emphasize their home identity. If you are alert enough, you may be to detect some of these unconscious patterns within yourself, demanding recognition for something you did and getting angry or upset if you don't get it, trying to get attention by talking about your problems, the story of your illness, or making a scene, giving your opinion when nobody has asked for it. and it makes no difference to the situation. Being more concerned with how the other person sees you than with the other person, which is to say, using other people for egoic reflection or as ego enhancers, trying to make an impression on others through possessions, knowledge, good looks, status, physical strength, and so on, bringing about temporary ego inflation through angry reaction against something to someone, taking things personally, feeling offended, making yourself right and others wrong through futile mental or verbal complaining, wanting to be seen or to appear important. Once you have detected such a pattern within yourself, I suggest that you conduct an experiment. Find out what it feels like and what happens if you let go of that pattern. Just drop it and see what happens. De-emphasizing who you are on the level of form is another way of generating consciousness. Discover the enormous power that flows through you into the world when you not emphasizing your form identity. Stillness. It has been said, stillness is the language of God speaks, and everything else is a bad translation. Stillness is really another word for space. Becoming conscious of stillness whenever we encounter it in our lives will connect us with the formless and timeless dimension within ourselves, that which is beyond thought, beyond ego. It may be the stillness that pervades the world of nature, or the stillness in your room in the early hours of the morning, or the silent gaps in between sounds. Stillness has no form. That is why, through thinking, we cannot become aware of it. Thought is form. Being aware of stillness means to be still. To be still is to be conscious without thought. You are never more essentially, more deeply yourself than when you are still. When you are still, you are who you were before you temporarily assumed this physical and mental form called a person. You are also who you will be when the form dissolves. When you are still, you are who you are beyond your temporal existence, consciousness, unconditioned, formless, eternal. Yeah, that's chapter is complete.
Yeah, we will stop here. Sorry,
Shankar
we got
and Shilpa, both you have read very nicely. The way you read was really soothing to hear and make it more attentive. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
yeah, thank you everyone, and thank you Rajesh for sharing the screen today. Yeah, thank you everyone. We can open up for discussion. We'll keep it very very short since we are out of time already, and I'm thinking we'll start from 7:15 tomorrow onwards, so we don't end up 7:15 to 8:15. We can keep it like a strict time, so we don't end up waiting for everyone. I think 7:15 will be suitable, and for me also, like maybe some commitments are coming up, so that will be more suitable. So let's do that. Also, yeah, let's open up for discussion now. Whatever everyone understood, they can share their insights, takeaways, anything you related to. Please feel free.
Yes, my takeaway was about stillness. Generally, we are occupied in the about the voice in the head that takes most of our attention. But if we want to listen the God's voice, or if we become more conscious, that is, we have to identify the stillness. That is the inner space we have to experience actually. Yeah,
Yeah, very true.
that.
In fact, there's a book. I think Stillness, by the name of Stillness, is also there is a book. I think by Eckhart only or some other person, but there are books on that, and maybe we can understand them better through that. Yeah,
Yes,
as you were,
it is called Stillness Speaks
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Is it by
from
Eckhart
he has
Eckhart.
Tolle? Sir?
described stillness very
It's from
beautifully.
Eckhart Tolle. Yeah.
Oh, you both have read it, Suman and Shilpa?
No, no,
Yes.
just today part, what I read that I am telling, it's very beautifully described.
Okay, okay, yeah. Is it readable in the morning time for us? Can we do that?
Oh
Is it good
yes.
enough for a
I
group
mean,
reading?
I just love his books, and they can be put into practice. And I think a sequel to this, I mean, I would really read The Power of Now first, then The New Earth, and then The Stillness Speaks, because it makes more sense
The
that way.
Power of Now is a very heavy book, everyone said, to read in a group setup. That is why we are not going to read it the way we read now. Maybe we will read it in a different way together. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
taking slow and going by our pace and maybe reflecting on and implementing on the things. Maybe like that. Let's see. We'll do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
For today's leading session, given that session which I read, in that way, only one thing I understood, there was one message: we have to be present, and the importance of concentrating or awareness of the breathing. Apart from that, I just read, but I could not connect much. Even that after reading, there was a lot of things. It was very, I aware that a lot of very useful information and very essential informations message as shared in today's reading, but I could not digest everything. I would love to connect with someone individually, those who can explain me whatever today's reading. I don't, whatever you have read, the essence of reading. I would love to connect with someone to understand this. Yeah, that's all I think. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So you can connect with me, you can connect with Shilpa or whoever want to volunteer for that, and whatever we understand, we can explain you. But actually, the book overall, like I would say that Rajesh, maybe you have missed out certain parts of the chapter or the book. Maybe that is why you're finding it difficult to connect because it is like the author is taking us through the concepts chapter by chapter, and as we read through all the earlier parts, now we understand a little better. So that is one thing.
Okay. Maybe,
Also,
yeah,
what
definitely.
yeah, also what I understand, like what I could like just to take a gist of today's overall reading, what I would say is today he talked all about what I understand as beyond. So basically, it is about that part which is beyond our perception or our understanding because and there is this story around beyond which I love, like it stays with me and maybe I've repeated it multiple times before also. So it is Sadhguru story where one of the influencer interviewed him, and at the end of the like conversation and everything, she asked him that what is your message for me. So like it was an offline, like not an interview part, but apart from that they were just having this conversation after the interview, and she asked her what would you bless me with, or what would you want to tell me. Then he says that may your dreams never come true. And she was like, why would you say that, why may not my dreams come true. And then he continues, and he says, may you be uh, may you achieve what is beyond your understanding or perception up until now. Like I don't know the exact words, but basically it's the idea is, and if you see her life, even now she has gone beyond. Like she might have perceived to become the best influencer or whatever at that point of time, but if you know, if you see now, she is in movies, she's in so many places, and she's gone beyond everything like that she could have perceived at that point of time in her life. So basically the idea is, and I think the chapter covers it in the terms of being in the now and all of that, being in the present moment, experiencing the space within and all of that. The actually the idea is that we are only, even dreams, right? Like we say that have bigger dreams, bigger goals and all of that, but it is also that we are capable of much more, and there are many more things that we may be capable of achieving and doing, but we are not reaching that point because we are stuck in our heads. We are stuck in what we understand as of now. And if you see that we can only perceive till our current limitation of understanding, even a biggest dream is only something that we are aware of. But there are things that are beyond that. There are things that are beyond our understanding, beyond our capacities, and all the people who have achieved big in life, in this lifetime, maybe they have tapped into that power of theirs. That is how it's not always about just dreaming big. It's also about giving that space for things to evolve beyond our dreams, because we don't understand those things, we don't know what's possible for us. So that thing I think is highlighted today. And he also, from the part that you read na Rajesh, he also talked about creativity. So I'll just read out this one para. All creativity comes out of inner spaciousness. Once the creation has happened and something has come into form. Okay, okay, that is different. So, okay, only this one line. All creativity comes out of inner spaciousness. So, basically, when we give ourselves that time and we let ourselves more in the being mode, that is where we get creative. We can think of something out of the box, and even insights come. So, we can say that downloads happen from the universal mind. We can say that. So all of these things are possible when we give ourselves that space and time, without any anxiety, without any expectations, just being in that being state and experiencing life and the moment to the fullest is what I understand. And he talked about the space in between. And for me personally, the biggest takeaway was the space that he explained, right? Like how much light travels from sun to different nearest sun, from different spaces, like. And that part was an aha moment for me today, because I was not aware of it before reading it today. So and he talked about that similar space is there in our bodies also, between every cell, every matter that we are made up of. We have this space within, and it's many in many Ayurvedas and many like ancient wisdom from our Indian culture also, and Japanese, or many places, they talk about this, that the universe is basically like our body. If we just try to go within, it's a reflection of the universe. Basically, it's there is some slok also on that, as Shrushti or something like that. So basically, it is like we are actually a living example of the whole universe. That is how it is in the Krishna Bhagavad Gita, and even in Krishna's story, right? When his mom like sees in his mouth, she sees the whole Brahmand. She sees the whole universe, because that's like a depiction of it. Like basically, that all the universe is within us. It's very similar. So that is why they tell us to. It's called circadian rhythm in the scientific this thing also. No, that is why they tell us to align our routine to the universal, to the outside routine, like eat before sunset, with the sun and all of that. So that's how we it helps us. So there are many layers to this, but this is just what I could remember and understand as of now. So yeah, anyone please, I took a little longer just for Rajesh to understand a little bit more.
Thank you,
And
Mansi, for
yeah,
explaining.
so these are beyond things that what we currently understand. Maybe what I understand personally is when many people I see around me, and many people I like, most of them, especially jobs make us do that. So we are always living that busy life, right? So when we live busy, we are busy all the time. We need not be productive, or we need not be living to a highest purpose. So it's basically because we are all constantly in the doing mode. We are not allowing ourselves in the to be in the being mode, where we just we experience. That's how vacations feel so lively. That's how we when we spend time with our loved ones, or things like that, where we are just not looking at time and doing things, just going in the flow, that makes us feel so happy and alive within, because that time we are in the being mode. So I think he talks about this space and all of that today. So yeah, that was my contribution of understanding whatever I have of all of this. But this book is so deep, I feel It's not a one time read, definitely, because every time we read it, we understand different parts a little more from the book, and many of them are left ununderstood. And that is why I'm insisting, please do listen to the podcast series that I have we are sharing with this, because they actually help us with a lot of better understanding of the chapters. Even if you're not reading, Rajesh, for you also, even if you're not reading the book also, or you have missed out some chapters, I would insist, just go and listen to the podcast series. That will help you understand a little more than what. And even if we understand a part of this as of now, it's good for us to evolve into a better self, and understand things better. And eventually, we will understand more and more when we reread it, or when we evolve through our own experiences and things like that. So yeah, sorry for taking so long. Sorry for that. But yeah, please do continue.
Yeah,
Whoever
sure.
wants can.
Sure, we'll do
Uh,
that. We'll listen that podcast, Mansi. Thank you.
yeah, I've shared it in the group. You can ask me if you don't find anything, and then I'll share it again. Yeah. Shilpa, yeah, Shilpa wants to speak. And
So
who else?
I just want to share with you, so that the breathing thing that we did. So there's always a background, which he has not used this word, but I use, is a background to every backdrop, to every drama, to everything that goes on. There's a backdrop, and this backdrop is silence. You would not be able to hear a voice or any sound if there was no backdrop, if there was no silence. Everything arises from the silence. Everything arises from the nothingness. Everything arises from the black hole in space. So, to experience this silence, the gap between my words, the gap between your thoughts, is something very, very sacred. This emptiness, this void, is full of potential that we cannot see, that we are there only to experience. All our scriptures talk about it, and it's not only Indian. All the Chinese, the Western philosophers, everybody talks about it. So this, which cannot be named, even Viktor Frankl, who went through the concentration camps, one of the things that he survived is the little gap between the stimulus and the response. This is the same thing that we are talking about. He talks about stimulus and response. We are just talking about the breath. So there's every time you can go home, and this is where your home is, in that gap. And all that you have to do is, it's effortless. Just surrender, just give in, just fall, and you will be carried. This is also what Jesus says about carrying you. This is that gap. So take as many opportunities that you can today, tomorrow, and the after, and more, to fall into this gap. And in India, you have lots of time for it. Why do I say in India? Because I think we wait here in a lot of queues. We have more time to do this. Even my teacher, the Zen meditation guru, Thich Nhat Hanh, he would say, especially in Europe, we have church bells. So when you hear the church bell, stop doing everything, just breathe. And then, since we do not have here church bells in the East, so many, so we would use a traffic light. So when you see a traffic light, take the moment to breathe and come back into your sacred self, the sacred moment, where there is no identity, there is nothing, no expectation. It's just there. This is one thing that I would like to share with you. So please, 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 I have had so many beautiful moments, and they are pearls of a necklace. So please collect those pearls and add it to your necklace. And secondly, I want to talk about in the part that I read, it is about um, sleeping. Osho talks a lot about it. He talks about the dream that you all are dreaming. Even Maharishi, Paramahansa, everybody talks about that you're in a sleep state. What we are doing right now is we are in a sleep state, and I could not understand this. What do you mean by sleep? I'm awake. Yes, but you are awake, but you're not conscious. What does it mean that you're not conscious? You're not conscious of what you're doing. You're just doing. You're not conscious of your breath. And once you get conscious of your breath, you leave the dream state. And then the arising of joy, of Anand, is so spectacular and it's so effortless. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go to work. You don't have to do what you think you do, eat, sleep. That all becomes secondary. And that the joy of eating also um, increases. The joy, and that is all through mindfulness too. But this dream state, waken up. Even Rumi talks about it. Even Khalid Gibran talks about it. Wake up, wake up. And it's so easy. And then the question I have is I wake up and I fall back to sleep. And then I have to remember, oh, I have to wake up. So I am dipping like in the Ganges. I dip in the Ganges and I come out. So I invite you to take these tips. And and don't take life too seriously. See, even your breathing is effortless. So then you keep on saying, but I breathe. Actually, if you breathe, exhale. If you breathe out, exhale completely the way you are supposed to. Once you do that, just once, complete exhalation, where your stomach reaches, your navel reaches the spine. The spine is Shiva, the navel is the Shakti. So when Shakti meets Shiva, then something arises. And I want you to experience that, each one of us, each one of you, because I have done this. Please, and once you are, I mean, this is physics. Once you exhale completely, the outer air, because of low pressure in your body, the outer air rushes in. So you don't even have to inhale because the air gets into your body. So with that, I ask you, each one of you today, for your blessings. Today I'm celebrating my first birthday without my parents, without my mom. I am just so happy to have a reading family with me this morning. And I'm so, um, wie heißt das? I'm sorry, I'm thinking in German. I'm so blessed to have a sister who's with me. And from this part, I am thank you, Mansi, for being connected to us.
The driver is coming today.
Oh my God, we are not aware of it. I'm so sorry and happy birthday. Your parents are there with you, Shilpa. Like they're just not in the physical form, and you know that, right? So, yeah, I'm so uh, grateful that you shared it with us. And happy birthday to you. A big, big, big hug from each one of us. A big, warm virtual hug. I wish I could meet you.
Yeah, soon. Mansi, I have it in my head how we are gonna meet. So, um, and
No, no, no. Even I'll see how I can, like, we can make it a priority since we're both in Mumbai. Let's do that. Yeah, but yeah, a warm, very, very beautiful birthday. And as you rightly said, this is your new life that is being starting an independent, different kind of life. So do celebrate it as your first birthday. And yeah, you're very much ready, I feel,
Yes,
to
yes, I am.
mark upon
We're
this new life. And your
so
parents are
who?
always with you. In fact, maybe they are more with you now, because they don't have this physical restriction of bound to one place as of now. So now wherever you go, you travel places. So wherever you go, they will be with you. So that's a great thing, right?
Thank you,
Wishing you
Mansi.
happy,
Thanks
happy,
so
very
You
happy
can
much.
feel
birthday,
their presence. You
Shilpa.
can feel the presence whenever
Thank you,
you
Rajeshi.
just remember them.
Have a
Thank you.
blessed birthday, Shilpa ji.
Thank you so much. I felt initially I was thinking of not saying it like every year. I don't talk about it. But this year I said, no, I'm going to celebrate it. And guess what? I'm taking my sister to a place. People who in Mumbai may know it's called Lonavala, which is 2 hours, 3 hours away from Mumbai on the way to Pune. I took my mom. I'm sorry, I'm taking a little bit. Oh, I'll take 30 seconds. I took my mom in June to Lonavala and to this luxury resort. I took her, and she had the ball of a time. All my last pictures of her, this was just 1 week before she left. She passed away. It was, she really had, she enjoyed, and she told everybody over there that she's coming back with with her younger daughter, with my sister. So I decided today I want to take her there, and I've invited my mom. I said, please come there so we could have a great party over there. And I just feel blessed. So I'm going to take you all. Please breathe with me. Okay, let's take just one breath. Okay, that would be my birthday present from you to me. Okay, and you to yourself. So let's just take one breath. Just close your eyes. Just feel your feet on your body. Just straighten your body, relax your shoulders, and take a deep breath in and hold your breath, and then exhale. And now open your eyes, put a big smile on your face, and I'm ready to go. And so are you. Take care. Bye, guys.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye. Have a good day. Enjoy yourself.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Any shares? No shares. No, I think let's close for today. We can do that tomorrow if you have
Yes, this is
anything
a
to say.
beautiful note to close on.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do that. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time and energy and presence. It really means a lot. That keeps us going. Thank you so much. See you all tomorrow. Bye bye. We'll start at 7:15 tomorrow, okay? Like just keeping everyone informed.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Take care.